friends, welcome back to another Friday with Nye. I know I promised you that I was going to show you in my last video how I made the flounce on this skirt. So here I am. And we're excited to do this, right? Are you excited? Just me? I'm the only one excited? I know you're excited. So let's get to it. I'm Nye with Ellen and Mac. Come along, friends. So welcome back. I'm glad you came back. You're gonna need the skirt that we made last time out of jeans. And if you did not get a chance to make this, I'll go ahead and put a video up here so you can check it out and make your own. Then what you're gonna need is some tailor's chalk or some kind of erasable marker like the one that erases with water. I love those. If your denim is super dark, you won't be able to see it. So you're probably going to want to use the tailor's chalk. And I'm just now opening this one up because I just bought it fresh from the store. This is my Dritz tailor's chalk. You're also going to need some scissors because you're going to have to cut that woven fabric. You're going to need a sewing machine or a serger and also some horsehair braid. I purchased this horsehair braid on Amazon, and I'll go ahead and leave a link below so that you know exactly which ones I purchased. There are two different kinds. This one is a very fine weave, and this one is a very heavy weave. Now the one I used for this skirt is a very fine weave because this is a stretch woven from the style Magnolia, and it is a very light and airy fabric. You may not want to use stretch woven, just because the stretch woven can be a little bit difficult when doing your horsehair braid because it likes to stretch everywhere, and it drove me insane. But it's gorgeous. The best part is though, you can get whatever print you want in any kind of woven at the South Magnolia because there are like tons of options. So anyways, moving right along. What you want to do first is take your skirt and try it on. You want to know exactly how high do you want that front point on your skirt and how low do you want that back point on your skirt. Get your tailor's chalk and mark exactly where you want that front point to start. Go to the back of your skirt and mark exactly where or how long you want the back to be. Now, I've marked it here and I've marked it up here. You want to fold your skirt. Now, fold, okay? Fold your skirt there in the center so that your zipper is facing that way and your pockets are facing that way. So basically, you're going to fold it in half sideways. So your side seams should be coming down the center now. What you want to do is take your chalk and draw a very gentle curve up to your point where you have your marking in the front. Now mine is a very sharp swoop because I like the way I gathered a little bit more in the front. Okay. Now, I'm not actually going to cut this one because I have other plans for this one. But I'm going to show you how to do that curve, okay? Okay, so now you can see that I have a curve here starting at the front of my zipper area and moving all the way back. So when you do that, you unfold your skirt and you'll see that it just goes partially through. So you're gonna need to mirror that on the other side by keeping it folded when you cut. Be very careful when you cut this to go straight into the line. Don't start up or down from the line or you're gonna have a point here where you're cutting when you unfold it and it's gonna look like a duck butt. Nobody wants a duck butt unless they're on DuckTales. DuckTales, woo! If you ain't old enough to know that television show, I'm gonna mind my business. Anyway, we're gonna cut all the way up to that top point. Okay. So, as you can see, when I did mine, I had my point right here. And then the back part, I ended up cutting right about here. Now remember, when you do this, you're going to need to leave about a 1/2 inch of your fabric to your skirt because you're going to finish that edge. So what I did is I ran over this with my serger. If you don't want to run over the raw edge of your denim with your serger or your zigzag stitch on your sewing machine, you don't have to, because it's not really going to unravel over, it's going to take forevers to unravel over time. It's denim, of course. So, but if you want a really finished looking edge, you're going to want to run your serger or your sewing machine over the edge of that. Then what you want to do is take that, and I'll show you the inside, the raw edge of your skirt, and measure it. Measure from the rooter to the tutor. No, just kidding. There's no. Not unless you're making sausages. So you want to measure from here, and you want to go all the way around, okay? And whatever that circumference is, you don't even have to do that. If you have a measuring tape, you can. It's very easy. Or you can split the skirt in half and just, you could just split the skirt in half and measure from here all the way to the back and multiply it by 2. Then you'll have the circumference of your hem. Okay, now the circumference of your hem is very, very important because that's going to determine how much woven fabric you need to make your skirt. Go ahead and measure the hem circumference of your skirt. I'll wait. Okay, we're done. All right, now, once you do that, I want you to take that number and I want you to multiply it by 2 or 3. I did mine by 2. So if you want the fullness that I have in my skirt, you want to multiply that number by 2. If you want to have a really big, furry, fluffy hem, bottom flounce, then you're going to multiply it by 3. The length of your woven fabric is going to depend on how long you want this flounce. My flounce is about 10 inches. So in order to have a 10-inch flounce, I had to go ahead and cut 10 3/4. Okay, so first, measure your circumference of your hem. Take that measurement, multiply it by 2 or 3, depending on how much drama you want in your flounce. Then you'll have the length. So, if you need to try the skirt on, go ahead and put it on. Put it on and then have somebody measure how long you would like that to be, okay? And I did mine at a 10-inch flounce, but I had to add 3/4 of an inch to it because I wanted to add the horsehair braid, and this is going to add about 1/4 of an inch, and this is going to add about 1/2 where I added it to the skirt. Now we have the measurement you need for your woven fabric. You have your length and your width. Your width is 2 or 3 times the circumference of your skirt, and your length is going to be whatever length you want the bottom edge of your skirt to come to plus 3/4 of an inch. Go ahead and cut it up. I'll wait. Okay, we're done. All right. Now you should have a long rectangular piece of woven fabric. What you need to do with that now is sew the fabric right sides facing in order to make a circle. So, sew that fabric right sides facing, right? Make it real neat inside, okay? And then what I want you to do is to finish the top edge of that fabric. You can finish the top edge of that fabric with a serger like I did here. Right along here, I literally just serged the edge of my fabric. But If you want to make it a little bit neater, because this is a denim skirt, I didn't feel like it needed to be super formal. But if you want to make a really neat ruffled edge, what you can do is you can go ahead and do a rolled edge on it with your serger, or you can do a rolled edge with a rolled edge foot on your sewing machine, and that will finish the edge of your fabric off nicely. Then, once you're done doing the edge, all you need to do is gather it. I know, gathering is like, ugh. I do that. When I have to gather something, I'm like, okay. So really quickly, if you forgot how to gather with your sewing machine, you basically can just take your fabric, put it in the sewing machine, and you want to turn up that tension, and you want to turn up your stitch length as far as it will go, sew it all the way through, and then you will have a line of thread which you can gather with your fingers. If you want to do the 2 rows, which I'm going to be honest, because I'm lazy, I very rarely sew 2 rows because that just takes forever. But every once in a while when that one stitch breaks, I'm mad at myself. I'm in the corner, ugly Oprah crying because I was lazy and now I got to do it again. You know how that feels. I know you know how that feels if you sew at all ever. That's how you feel, just like me, right? Make me feel better. Yeah, so if you want to go ahead and do 2 rows of stitching, you can leave your tension the way it is. Just do 2 rows on your sewing machine of the highest length stitch that you can make, and then just gather it up, right? So now what you want to do is you want to gather that fabric up so that it meets the circumference of your skirt. In order for it to meet the circumference of your skirt, you'll probably have to line them up like I did and just pin, 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 pin. Now, before we do that, I want you to see that there are a couple ways you could do this. What I did is I added my flounce to the right side of the skirt. So you can see that I have this really pretty kind of ruffle, edgy ruffle thing on the outside. But you don't have to do it like that. You can totally gather your fabric and instead sew it to the inside hem of your skirt. And then your ruffly part will be on the inside. And instead of having your skirt look like this, you'll have it more like, you know, your ruffle will be here. And then you'll just have to sew it to the inside and then top stitch it so that it will look nice on the outside. But then what happens is you won't have this like ruffly edge. It will kind of be like more like this because it will come out from the underneath. Now, whew, that was a bunch. Now you know you're going to end up with an edge that is not finished. And if you like to add the horsehair braid to the bottom of your skirt, guess what I got for you? Because we're friends, I got another video for you. Yes, that's what I said. I made a video on how to add this horsehair braid to any hem to make it dramatic and fancy because we like drama and we like fancy. So go ahead and check out that video. Have a watch and it will show you exactly how to add this hem to your flounce. Oh, you're going to look so good, girl. Pockets. Okay, we got pockets here. And yes, I did sing that like I just came from church and I don't even go to church, but I just did that, didn't I? I should have my church hat on. Where's my grandma? So what I did is I took a piece of fabric, right? I put it inside my pocket. And then I trimmed along, leaving about a ½ inch. Then what I did is I took my Mod Podge, I painted it on the original pocket and folded the woven fabric and just placed it on top. Then I hand stitched it in. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So that's how I did it. I mean, for real, that was so much fun. I still get a kick out of looking at this skirt and just thinking about how easy it was to put it together. Now you can make a fancy flouncy skirt if you like. While we're sitting here, if you like my videos and you like all the content that I share here on Ellie and Mac, please go ahead and subscribe. Click that notification bell so that you don't miss any of the fun. I'm here every other week, y'all, just for you. I'm gonna leave some videos at the end of this video so that you can have a look at some of the other stuff that I do. Don't forget to check out the video on how to do the horsehair braid for yourself, because trust me, you are gonna love it. I hope that you have a fabulous drama flouncy filled week, and I will see you next time. Make sure that you're creating and making and yeah. Bye, friends.